Titus, and you didn't, unless you thought Titus lost all his hair and grew a beard and some muscles.
Easy now. Oh, okay, all right, we'll go with that.
Ignore the fan noise in the back. It's 105 right now, and it's miserable, so just deal with it. I'm sure there's a fan playing in your background. I've got a small air conditioner and 2 fans going so we can stay cool for this podcast because so much has happened. We got D23, just all a bunch of stuff coming out from there. We got the Sony Disney kind of debacle that's going on that people don't really know everything about, that we got some little light shed on. And then we have, the reason why I wanted to record this today is because of Andrew's new rating system of Guy Fieri's out of 10.
Guy Fieri, please.
You're going to call him Guy Fieri?
No, it's his real name.
Okay, so he wants to call him Guy Fieri. I respect the Guy Fieri very much. I won't do that to dishonor to you, but he'll explain those later when he gives his ratings for, he watched John Wick 3. And I also watched some movies on the plane, so we got lots of movies to talk about. Some of them because, you know, a lot of movies get good reps just because they have the history, and some get bad reps because they have the history. And I guess one of the movies I watched was because of history, and the one you had was because of history, so
yeah,
it's kind of good to do that. Make sure to go to the Pod Bros Network, podbros.com. Check out all of the wonderful podcasts there. Also, make sure you go to all of our pages, facebook.com/FOMOcast, Twitter, FOMO_cast, FOMO podcast on Instagram, and make sure if you're watching this on YouTube, you know where we're at, but go to youtube.com and search FOMOcast. We've got 4 videos up there now. By the time you hear this, maybe 5. I don't know when I'll get this edited. I'm lazy. I got another fantasy football draft tonight, so who knows? And then also make sure to go to our patreon.com/FOMOcast. Now, let's just start with all the trailers that came out. So, you obviously got sent the Mandalorian trailer.
Yeah.
The one thing I did like about it and didn't like about it was it felt, I don't know I don't know what time this takes place.
I couldn't tell.
You can't, because one of the bounty hunters was the robot bounty hunter from the original series. You see him flying around firing a gun, and you're kind of like, wait. Because I think it's IG-88, I think is his number. But I was like, wait, when is this taking place? I go, does this mean that Boba Fett has to show up? And I'm like, no.
That's who I thought it was.
I'm like, so, but was it Pedro Pascal? He plays whatever, but I'm avoiding spoilers like crazy on this. So I don't even want to know his name yet, because I don't want it to be one of those things where it's, you know how they do some movies where it's about one thing, like it's a Predator movie, and then they have a main character who goes by one name. Turns out he's not anything to do with thought he did.
Is after you look up his credit, it's gonna have his title.
He's gonna have it on there,
yeah.
so you don't want to ruin it. So I'm avoiding it, but he is in it. He is featured predominantly in the beforehand stuff. You don't see much in almost any of the trailers that got released. You don't see much for anything aside from helmets of stormtroopers, which, I mean, if you read the comics, you know that Mandalorians, their home planet, I mean, they're bounty hunters by trade, but you know they don't like outsiders, and it makes sense in the clip. So there's no basis for it. There's no.
It looks like they're not trying to give anything away. It looks like they're just trying to pump you up on, hey, you recognize some of this stuff from the Star Wars universe.
Exactly. So that was cool. I didn't watch the Lady and the Tramp trailer. How did you feel about that one? Because that's very deceiving, because they made it seem like it was going to be a movie in the theaters, and it's just going to be on Disney Plus.
That confused me too when I got to that point where I was expecting it to be, you know, the way they've been doing The Lion King, Aladdin, all those movies.
I mean, we didn't even know about this.
And then it just says coming to Disney Plus at some point. I don't remember the time frame.
Yeah, it's pretty insane.
So it's not going to be in theaters at all.
I don't think so. Or it might be one of those ones dual release, but maybe it tested bad, and that's all I could think about was that it tested bad, and they're like, look, it's content for the website and for the show, for the network, because what they already released, we talked about it previously, the pricing, it's $11.99, and you can get Hulu and Disney Plus, which is more than worth it.
Well, you're already paying that for Hulu alone, right?
No, I'm paying $5 a month for it.
I think mine's like 10 or 11.
If you have no commercials, it's 11 something.
I have commercials.
You have commercials.
Yeah.
So maybe I've had it so long, maybe they haven't raised my price or something.
I think it might be 8. Maybe it's somewhere around there. That
So
sounds right.
you have little add-ons you can get too that I don't have anything. I have the basic. It's $5
Yeah.
something cents a month. I don't even know what it is, but they have the one where you can watch live TV. It has lots of stuff. But I'm canceling my AT&T next month, getting ready for this. I'm gonna start saving some cash up. 'Cause I don't know if I want to go to Hulu with the live TV because I barely watch any live TV besides a couple sports here and there.
Yeah.
If I'm, I'll watch on something else, whatever. But I think what they're going to do is, I think Disney Plus is they're going to actually have everything separated because they have it Disney, Marvel, National Geographic. Like they list out all the different Star Wars, like they list out all the different areas, genres they're going to have. So I think they may even be like, because the rumor was once this launches, this is like a soft launch, even though everyone's going to have access, they're going to adjust everything after the first year. So we don't know if that means price up or if you're going to be able to maybe even buy something you want. Like let's say you're a diehard Marvel, but you don't want anything Star Wars. Maybe they let you go, hey, have all this Marvel stuff for a certain price. 'Cause, I mean, they're going heavy on the new content for Marvel. They're bringing over the Clone Wars, that's a existing show already, to the network, which is pretty cool too. But I mean, just the amount of new Marvel stuff. Some people may just want the Marvel stuff. Would you do that? Like if you, let's say, I know you probably would like the whole thing, everything, but if they were like, hey, we'll give you an option, pay a fraction of the price just to have a certain section of the network, would you do that? If you were a diehard whatever fan?
Man, I mean, I'd probably just go the whole thing. It can't be that expensive, right?
I mean, you never know though, because Netflix, man, has increased 5 years, 6 years in a row, $1. And eventually it's going to be, the main reason why I like Hulu is because Hulu's owned by all the companies making their own apps. So my belief is if a show's great enough on a CBS app and they're not seeing an increase in their subscriptions to the app, where's the next place it's going to go? It's going to go to the channel. It's going to go to the network because they know they can make money off of it. So there's nothing on the apps that super attract me except for the Twilight Zone on CBS. I need to get that because that supposedly is phenomenal.
Well, and I haven't seen anything yet from Disney Plus that really makes me even want it.
For me, I'm actually going to be on an episode of something, hopefully in the background, of the Jeff Goldblum show, which basically it looks just like. Remember, I can't remember what channel it was on. Maybe Travel Channel. Maybe I can't. Mark Summers. The guy from Double Dare.
Yeah.
He does that How This Is Made show where he narrates it.
Does he narrate that?
Oh. He's
I didn't know that was him.
He's the one that narrates it,
Okay.
and I think that basically that's what Jeff Goldblum's show is. Like this is like oddities. Like he goes to a shoe convention, and the guy's like, "Well, these shoes are worth $15,000," and he's like, "Oh my gosh." He came to our Destruction Derby to film, so it's kind of.
Is that the show? He just stands there and goes, "Oh my gosh."
It looked like it, man. Like he came to our fair and he talked to them about why people like the fair and things like that.
The fair finds a way.
Well, did you see okay, we might as well get into it since it's all Disney stuff. So, did you see his reaction to the Sony Disney fight?
No. Jeff Goldblum?
Yeah.
No.
He was like, wait, what? He was like, you can tell he caught him off guard. So what is your understanding about what's going on? Basic. Just as simple as possible.
It was my understanding that they didn't want to equally split the production cost and what would you call it, revenue, I guess, that comes in from the movies.
Right.
And that Sony and Marvel were talking about splitting both 50-50. And someone or both sides were unhappy with that, and so they're on hold. The talks are on hold. That's my understanding. Nothing is officially done.
Right. So Sony came out because like Tom Holland stopped following him on Instagram. Like it was a big old thing. And Sony was like, look, it has a little bit to do with that, but it has mostly to do with the fact that was it how do you say his last name? It's not Feig, is it?
Feige.
Because there is a person whose same spelling goes by Feig.
Okay.
And I believe
It's
it's
pronounced Fieri.
Oh. But he was not going to be allowed to produce the next Spider-Man film. And they were like, we wanted him to produce it. So now people are kind of like, wait, what? Like, oh, so there was more to the story. There always is. YouTube. That's why you never can believe a person's first apology video because guaranteed someone's gonna come out with something else on YouTube or whatever, and there'll be more light shed onto it, and then they'll do another apology video. And surprisingly, Disney has stayed quiet. I think all they have said, and I think the craziest part of it all was Sony flat out said that it wasn't like Disney being negative. Disney legitimately told them, look, he has to rebuild our entire universe from the ground up. People fail to realize all the Avengers that were in the Avenger movies are basically out for the most part. You might have some people popping back in, but like in the comic books, it changes all the time. So he has to literally plan out which characters he wants to be in the Avengers, what order he wants the movies to come out. He literally is probably going to be spending the next 10 years of his life, if he's still with the company in 10 years, trying to lay this all out and trying to fix it. So they even said he was just too busy. So it sounds weird to me. It sounds almost like they're trying really hard to keep the relationship open, because they could have bashed him and said, no, this is all Disney's fault. They didn't. They said it was just a conflict of timing. So the rumor is the talks stopped and then they opened back up after Sony basically put out kind of a decent thing now. So we don't know. But in true Disney fashion, they went out and were like, you know what, D23, let's go ahead and open up all this different stuff. How in Disney World, they're going to open up an area that's basically like you're walking through Mary Poppins. They're going to have the Avengers campus in Disney's California Adventure. And if you're working for Disney and you see this, I'm going to tag Disney in this video. I'm being serious. I heard that Star Wars Land is amazing. But if you try to pull that immersive stuff in Avengers Land and you took away so many rides, like when they built Star Wars Land, you got rid of the barbecue ranch. That's it. You didn't lose any rides.
Okay.
If you took away rides to build a new Marvel Land and you're not going to have any rides in it, it's going to be really frustrating. I think they're going to try and push for the realistic, like, VR type of thing, because rumor was they got permits for some sort of Spider-Man ride or an Iron Man ride. So for me personally, I'm like, if you guys do that, please have more rides. Don't make it just immersive, which I heard it is. Star Wars Galaxy's Edge is amazing. It's the coolest thing ever. You have spies walking around. The stormtroopers are more interactive. Like they showed a video of a little girl who's dressed like a Jedi, and the stormtrooper is talking to her and asking her questions. And she walked toward them. They jump back real quick, like whoa, 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 and they go, "You seem okay," and they walk around her like they're really scared of her. And I'm like, see, that's they're acting. It's cool, but I don't think we need event. Just hearing the name Avengers Campus, what do you think? It's just immersive, don't you?
Just by that like name, a neighborhood.
It doesn't seem like there's going to be rides there.
Well, and I mean, Avengers live in our world. There's no, I mean, Star Wars is a whole separate universe. So how do you do if Avengers is just going to be, it's just New York?
I mean, if they do it, I'm assuming you're going to see stuff broken on the ground, like the Hulk's been around, or maybe more character spots. I don't know. I just know that Disney don't do us that way. I know you guys have already started.
I mean, you can just go downtown if you want to see some broken stuff on the ground, right?
Hey, 100%. Go to Skid Row right over there, and you'll never want to come back
right.
to the area. So we got so much stuff. Okay, so we covered Lady and the Tramp. We covered Mandalorian. Let us know any other trailers that you've seen. We have one more we're going to talk about, but Disney-related stuff that's come out. There's been so much. Let us know. All of our streaming platforms, Facebook.com/FOMOcast, Twitter FOMO_cast, FOMO Podcast on Instagram. Now, you just watched was it El Camino? Or just Camino?
I think it's just Camino.
Okay, Camino, the Breaking Bad movie on Netflix. How did you feel about that?
It looks boring like the show. Now, I'm a bad person to ask because I couldn't get past the first episode of the show. Is that person in the trailer? Is that supposed to be someone you recognize?
I didn't finish watching it. I was looking at it and I'm like, I don't know. But for me personally, I don't think so, because I think what they were trying to do, if the title wasn't there, the only reason why you would know is Breaking Bad is because the guy says Jesse Pinkman.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing they were going for, is they wanted to be kind of like, oh, look, we got the name. Oh, look, what's going on?
Is that Aaron Paul's character?
Mm-hmm.
Do we know if he's in it? Is he credited?
I believe so. Yes,
he is supposed to be in it.
Yes, because him and Bryan Cranston used the hype from the movie to launch their tequila company.
Oh, okay.
Because they tried to make it look like they were both filming Breaking Bad, but it was actually them doing a thing, an ad for their new tequila company that they put together. It's called like Two Burrows or something like that. So, I mean, that's the one thing I was kind of iffy on. I was like, and it feels too money grabby for me. So
let's just capitalize more on Breaking Bad.
Yeah,
we've got nothing to go on except that. What's his name? Jesse Pinkman.
Yeah, and that's it.
You can't find him.
Exactly.
They're looking for him.
So let's just go over. There is literally so much Disney Plus stuff and Disney in general. So we'll just rapid fire. So they're gonna do a Moon Knight TV series for Disney Plus, which is a huge character that I love. Kind of a darker, more Batman-like character. That's why he's called Moon Knight.
A comic book character.
Character. I don't know if it's gonna be animated or real. And that's the tough part for a lot of these shows is they don't clarify if they're animated or real. And then you have, this is the weirdest one. Lizzie McGuire is coming back.
Is it Hilary Duff?
Yes. Yes.
I haven't seen her recently.
Isn't that crazy? She's looking pretty good. She was at Disneyland. People kept making jokes because there was a measles outbreak in Disneyland, and she was there, and they're blaming her for it. So I think she's an anti-vaxxer or something like that.
Oh.
I don't know. I can't remember. But they're making jokes about it, and she was walking through the park, and she looks pretty good. So I was like, this is kind of weird. I'm like, what? They don't have any details. They just say she's on board. And this is the craziest thing. You probably remember, even just 3 or 4 years ago, people would start hearing rumors about a show, and it would never happen. Literally every single show that Disney's been rumored to be making is getting made. Every single one. It's insane.
Disney don't play.
I mean, so they got the Moon Knight. They got the Lizzie McGuire. I already talked about they were going to do, they're bringing the new season of Clone Wars is coming next year to Disney+. And then they're developing a Darth Maul TV show.
Animated, or we don't know?
We don't know, but I'm gonna assume it's gonna be live action because I have a feeling they're gonna want to integrate the Mandalorian and Darth Maul and maybe a couple other ones because they are so closely tied together. And the main reason why I think they wouldn't do Darth Maul in a TV series is I believe he's also in the Clone Wars, and that's how people always said he can come back to the movies because he's alive in the Clone Wars. So
I was gonna say he shows up in the animated series, right?
Yes, he does. And there's an explanation, I guess, in the comic books and the Clone Wars. He has a brother, Savage Opress, I think his name is, and basically their mother's like a witch, so she saves his life and creates these robot legs for him, all this stuff. It's complicated, but hopefully it's live action so they can expand the universe. And maybe they're going to create their own Star Wars universe on the TV show that ties in the movies. I mean, you never know. And then, is that it? Oh, and then the biggest one, I'll do this one first. So they're Miss Marvel is coming. So Miss Marvel, kind of cool. She's an average character, but they're bringing her. She's going to have her own movies. The rumor is she's going to be TV and movies. She's going to appear across everything. So that's the first one that they had that's going to do all of it a lot. Besides, I think it's Greg Paulson is the guy's name, the guy that played the agent. He's on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And then he was also in the first movies. And then the biggest one is Avengers. The Avengers 5 movie is already being worked on as being a crossover with X-Men.
Oh, okay.
So, don't know if it's going to be Avengers versus the X-Men, if it's going to be like a Civil War type situation, or if it's going to be
just kind of an introduction of bringing mutants into the MCU.
Yeah, we don't know. We don't know anything because the crazy part is as of when these movies were separated, X-Men's much more dark than the Marvel side of it with Avengers because they're mutants, they're not superheroes. So you watch any of the X-Men movies, it's all more about, what do they call it? More prejudice. Everyone hates mutants, but everyone loves superheroes kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, we don't know what it's going to be, but they're working on it. So I'm excited. Let us know if you're excited for any of the other Marvel information that came out in D23. There's so much more coming out. I can't even digest it all right now. The funniest one was Chris Pratt and Tom Holland are going to be in a movie called Onward, I think, an animated film. So everyone was freaking out because they showed up at the Disney thing, everyone thinking it was going to be a Spider-Man thing, and it was for this animated movie, and they came out and said hi to people.
Do we have subscribers on here?
Yeah, we do.
A lot?
No, barely any.
Is it just Timothy?
No, Tim doesn't subscribe to that yet.
No?
No, I don't think he does it on YouTube.
I thought it was just him with like a bunch of different accounts.
No, I wish, Tim, if you have more than one account, subscribe to all our YouTube stuff. No, we have like 6 subscribers. I got a couple when I was on a different podcast. They were shouting it out. So I gotta work on sharing it better. And
People commenting on it?
nobody commenting, a lot of likes though. They get
Someone
likes
comment
on it.
just so I know it's real. So I know I'm
Tell
not,
Andrew.
So I know I'm talking
comment.
to somebody.
And if you don't know, Andrew is the one that performed all the instruments in our intro song and the whole outro too, because I played the whole outro on the end for the most part. So he's the one that did all the magic on that.
We still need to get some lyrics so Titus can sing over it.
Okay, yeah, we need to do that. But let us know, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, you know it.
Please.
At the end of the video, you're going to see it all. Let us know on YouTube. One that I was kind of shocked by was Matrix 4 is on.
Oh, I just heard about this.
Keanu Reeves is on board, and the main chick is in it too. I don't know what it could be about. I don't know what other unresolved issues.
I don't know what
they
the
have.
first 3 were about.
You didn't
3,
watch them?
yeah.
Well, technically it's 4.
Well, this is gonna be 4, right?
This is going to be 4, but technically there was like an animated middle thingy that kind of explained like a
okay.
gap kind of thing.
I remember I was pretty young when these came out.
Same,
I just
dude.
remember being super confused by them. They actually just brought out all 3 for free on Vudu.
Yep.
And I've been trying to watch the first one for probably 2 weeks now, and I can't get through it.
For some people have said that it doesn't. It ages well, but it ages in a weird way because it was like that one came out right at the dawn of the internet, like when everyone had access to the internet. So it was very internet centric, and I've heard a lot of people complain because they say all 3 movies are great, but that you can tell there was a tonal shift during the movies, so that I don't know if they're trying to make it more mainstream or what, but it's, you know, we're gonna see. Hopefully Lawrence Fishburne's in it because, you know,
I think it has a lot to do with there's kind of been a Keanu Reeves revival since the John Wick series.
well, did you see him in that one that Netflix? Well, spoiler alert. He was in this one with that Randall Park, the one where the 2 Asian, it's him and the comedian. I can't remember her name, but he's in it. He's hilarious in it. I'll have to look at the name.
It's a comedy?
Yeah. I'll tell you what happens.
I don't think so.
It's amazing. It's amazing. He's amazing in it. But he's becoming almost like Danny Trejo now. Danny Trejo, it don't matter what the movie is. Like you should see how many student films he's in. He's flat out said in an interview. I heard it. He goes, "If you're in a student film and you ask me, and you're legitimately a good, I'll tell you to send me your stuff over. And if you're decent, and this will help you get somewhere, I'll do your student film."
I think we can get him on here.
No, never.
Why not?
This room's
We're
too
not
hot for him.
students.
This room's too hot for him. We don't have the right beverages for him.
What if we Skype him in?
He's never coming up here ever. He's staying in LA, saving people from flipped over cars.
But what if we go to LA?
I don't think so. Still, I don't think so. So we got a couple more. I'm kind of excited for this one. So Tom Welling, who played Superman on the CW show Smallville, is rumored to be playing Superman on Crisis on Infinite Earth. And for you probably don't know this, but they've been getting people and actors who have played several characters in the past to come on and play those characters or different characters in the show.
Just that have been part of that universe?
Part of that, yes,
in the past?
exactly. Like I believe Dean Cain is supposed to be coming in, I believe.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Not as Superman, but as something else. He might already be in it. I can't remember. But yeah, that's the rumor. There's a lot of people who are supposed to be showing up. And I think it's awesome because they're paying homage. Like the original Lex Luthor, that guy, he's supposed to be from Smallville, was supposed to have some sort of part
I
in
thought
it.
you meant original. Wasn't it Gene Hackman back in the day?
Gene Hackman and then Kevin Spacey, I believe, was the next
Was he?
one. I think Kevin Spacey was Lex Luthor in certain ones, and then what's his face? Jesse.
Eisenberg?
Eisenberg, yeah,
he
was
was
the next one.
terrible.
I kind of liked his character because the problem is it didn't fit. Because you can't have an old Batman and a young Lex Luthor. You know what I mean?
He plays the same character in every single movie. He has one way of acting, and that's the only way he acts.
True. He's very Mark Zuckerberg and all of that.
Yeah, exactly. We were watching Mark Zuckerberg.
Hey, one that came out of kind of nowhere. They finally announced the title of Bond 25, which is going to be called No Time to Die. So the next Bond film is going to be No Time to Die.
Did they just pull words from all the previous titles of James Bond films and made it into this
I have a feeling. So the rumor is after this one, it's going to be this actress. She's black and she's obviously is going to be the next James Bond. I was really hoping for Idris Elba because he's phenomenal, and I heard he's great in Hobbs and Shaw as the villain.
Wow, I saw that movie.
Did you like him as the villain at least?
He's okay.
Okay. But I just like him as an actor. I heard he's amazing on Luther. So my thinking is, oh, he'll be great. Well, now they're doubling down, and I guess the actress that they want to play, she's phenomenal as well. So
wait, in this next one, it's going to be a woman?
So I believe it's still Daniel Craig. He signed on to do one more.
Well, how old is he?
Contractually, I don't know, but I do know that the next one after this, I don't know if they're going to try and do a transition in the film to have her some way take over his alias or something. I don't know how they're going to work it out, or if they're just restarting after this one. So
Daniel Craig's 51. It's nice having this on video so people know how often I go to my phone to look things up that I don't know.
Well, look up James Bond, look up his upcoming films, and see if Bond 25 is on there.
It's called 25? Oh, No Time to Die?
Mm-hmm. It's supposed to be like a landmark and be the best one ever because it's the 25th. And
it's coming out April next year?
Mm-hmm. Say anything about him?
Looks like just theories. I don't think anything's confirmed yet.
Nothing on IMDb?
What about the cast?
Yeah.
Daniel Craig is in it.
Okay.
Is that what you're looking for?
Yeah. As long as it shows him in it, then who knows what they could kill him off in the first 10 minutes and have some big over aliens coming.
Yeah, he's listed as James Bond. Rami Malek, is that how you pronounce it? The one who played Freddie Mercury?
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be in it.
Yep, they're already announced him as the bad guy. He was super excited.
Well, Christoph Waltz is still in it. Wasn't he the bad guy in the previous one?
It's probably flashbacks.
Oh, man,
because there was a lot of stuff that happened in the last one that has to be explained in this one. So we got that one, and I think the thing I've seen Andrew be excited for the most was today he showed me. I've already seen it. He wanted to show me the Wizard of Oz thing on Google.
Oh.
So Google Wizard of Oz. Click on the little heels that show up when it googles, and then click on the tornado when it shows up. Cool little thing it does. I'm not going to spoil it. Just go out there and do it.
It'll keep you busy for 10 seconds.
10 seconds.
If you're bored. Which, if you're watching this or listening to this, I assume you are.
You're probably really bored. We also have, before our last thing, we'll do one more thing, then you're going to do your little rant. Well, actually, three things before that. So Dave Chappelle has his new stand-up show coming out on Netflix. And everyone was laughing because his last one was in front of a small, intimate audience, and then his new preview shows him walking in the desert and sitting in a chair, and they're like, what is he going to do? Perform to no people in the middle of nowhere? So hopefully he learned a little bit from his insensitive jokes, which, I don't care about him, but people were upset about it and wanted to boycott him after that one. So let's hope this one's good.
People get upset about everything, though.
They do, but he didn't. It was like one of those things, like, it wasn't for shock. He was literally saying, like, a belief he had as part of a joke.
I didn't get that sense from it.
Yeah, okay. Well, but he didn't apologize. So I don't think he thought so. I think he didn't think it was that way either. So I'm okay with it. But we'll see how this one goes. If it goes good, maybe we'll get another couple of them on there. We had that, and then this one actually I'm super excited about. They gave the rating for The Joker, which is supposedly getting Oscar buzz.
But when's it supposed to release?
I don't know. I think end of this year.
I haven't seen it obviously, so I can't judge it yet. But I feel like it seems like all you have to do is act crazy, which the Joker character obviously gives you the opportunity to, and people take that and just run with it and say, oh, what an amazing performance.
They're not getting.
Well, I guess not with Jared Leto in his case, but
they're not giving Oscar buzz for his performance alone. They're saying the entire movie. And what I'm thinking it is the rumor is they shot this, and it's a very Logan-esque type movie, where it's a movie that has a character in it that's from a comic book. Because like me and Titus talked about it in previous podcasts, the guy that wrote it and did it never read a comic book, doesn't know anything about any of them, took some ideas about certain things from his people, but it's a movie about a guy, and I think a lot of the buzz probably has to do with the fact that rumored is that you see the Joker's origin, you see who he used to be, which has never happened in the comics ever.
yeah.
You have a kind of idea, a guess, and there's different Jokers in it. With the original Joker, you don't know his name, you don't know his origin, you don't know how he became the Joker. So this one seems very, I don't know, it seems they didn't make it to get an Oscar, but they wanted to make a great movie that has a superhero tie, not the other way around, not a superhero movie, and then make a movie out of it. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. I'm very excited. I'm glad that they got an R rating, and hopefully it can lead to other stuff. And I hope there is an appearance of the Batman, because you never know who it could be. And I hope they keep it under wraps. Hopefully that's not released.
I have a feeling you could look up the credits and they probably have a Bruce Wayne on there. Do they not mention in one of the trailers? They mention Thomas Wayne, don't they? Or Wayne Enterprises?
Right, but the time that it's set, it could be what's his face? It's Thomas Wayne, right?
Yeah, it would have
could
to be
Thomas and Martha Wayne.
Yeah.
So it could not. The Batman might not even be born yet, or
I mean,
you know
if
what I mean?
it's set in like the 80s,
the
right?
80s, so he'd be a kid if it goes according to Batman rules.
Well, I don't know. It's hard to say because when
You don't.
it's
you
in
don't
its
know.
own universe,
You
right?
don't know. So it
So
could
how do
be-
we know when their current Bruce Wayne is an adult, when
Correct.
he becomes Batman?
Correct.
I don't know how to tie it in because it's
Exactly.
standalone, right?
Yep, standalone.
Yeah.
So, I mean, fingers
Maybe their
crossed.
Bruce Wayne Batman exists in the 80s.
It could. It 100% could. Last thing before Andrew gives out all of his thoughts. We had Holy Moly. I watched it. If you don't know what Holy Moly is, it's Rob Riggle, another guy. They basically announce, they're like commentators for a putt-putt golf tournament that has wipeout ties. So basically you have to do crazy holes and then try to get to the rest of the obstacle. It's pretty funny, and the reason why I do like it is the eliminations are more golf-centric, so it's more one-on-one, so you're learning about the people, you're watching what they do. They have legitimate golfers on there, and then Steph Curry is on there.
Oh.
Steph Curry is the professional, because apparently if Steph Curry wanted to, he could probably make the PGA Tour. He's that good of a golfer. He's legitimately good.
I mean, it kind of comes with being rich, doesn't it? Aren't you just
or
naturally
athletic.
good, though?
No, athletic. I mean,
Well, it's
'cause
not
you
a
gotta
sport,
think.
so.
You got to think because Tony Romo, like he could have played professional golf. Like people talk about, like in every offseason before he even got great at football, he was playing golf, and he legitimately, I've heard rumors, he straight up just takes money from dudes. He'll play against professional golfers and just take money.
Well, isn't it? It's the game because it's not a sport. It's the game that every professional athlete plays on the side for fun, right?
Correct. Because you got to think, if you're very athletic and you have the muscles, you have everything. Because like soccer is a sport that you enjoy and you watch, and you know for a fact if you spent a whole off season playing golf, you're probably going to be one of the best golfers out there. Because they know about training, they know about muscle memory, and they know about all these different things. And I think a lot of these athletes that are like football players, once they leave the sport, get better at golf. Probably soccer players too, because you're not as yoked out, you're not as big and buff, you're leaning out a little bit. Basketball players not so much, because they work out and they run around so much, it's kind of crazy. But I know a lot of those dudes, once they leave the sport, they become phenomenal at golf, because they obviously have all the time in the world to play it, but also they have that work ethic. Like that was the hardest thing for me, going from playing baseball to golf. You don't want to swing like a baseball bat, but that's your instinct. You're swinging something, your instinct is to swing like a baseball bat.
Yeah, golf is that you retire as a professional athlete, you become a golfer. Kind of like when other people retire from their job, they become a realtor. It's just that backup.
Yeah.
That retirement.
It could.
plan.
I did hear though that Tony Romo one time he missed the actual. He did it as a joke. He missed the cut for the PGA by like 2 spots. So, you know, and they made fun of him a lot of times. They're like, look, he's a quarterback in the NFL and he's doing better at a different sport than he does his own sport. You know, so it's kind of funny. So yeah, watch Holy Moly. It's great. But make sure to go to all of our stuff: Facebook.com/FOMOcast, Twitter FOMO_cast, FOMO podcast on Instagram, and go to YouTube.com. Search FOMOcast. Like, subscribe, comment. Tell us you love us. We love you, Facebook. We love you, Instagram. We love Twitter, and we love you, YouTube. Thank you, YouTube. Before you go into your Guy Fieri rant, I did watch 3 movies on the plane. I actually watched one on the way out. My first time I didn't talk about. I watched Alita: Battle Angel.
How was that?
I actually truly enjoyed it. It was very different. It was a very interesting concept. It was. I enjoyed it. I'll tell you more about it afterwards, but it was really, really fun. And I watched Shazam. I watched Detective Pikachu, and I watched Night School. I enjoyed all of them. Shazam, I know you said you stopped watching it.
I couldn't even finish
Afterwards,
it.
tell me where you stopped,
All right.
because I had a point where I was kind of like, I'm gonna turn it off, but then it hit a certain point where I truly enjoyed it. It's another one of those origin movies that you're like, just jump into it. Don't. I get why they had to do the origin, because for those who don't know, Shazam is a kid who says Shazam. He turns into basically his. It's very deceiving. He turns into his optimum form. So basically, you're making the assumption that's what he's gonna look like when he becomes an adult. So he turns into his optimum form, becomes a superhero. So I enjoyed the ending very, very much. Sets up a very amazing sequel. So I'm happy with that. Detective Pikachu, loved it.
That was good.
Did not see coming the ending. It was phenomenal, and it was really, really cool because it, like the Pokemon, it reminded me of the game 100%. Like I was like, oh my gosh.
I knew nothing about Pokemon going into it. I've heard of some of the characters, but I still liked it.
It was pretty good. And then Night School was Tiffany Haddish made that movie, and Kevin Hart wasn't super Kevin Hardy, only for a very short period of time. No, that's what I liked about it. You also had Rob Riggle in it. Mary Ann, I think her name. I think I can't. It's like Rajka, something like that. You had the this one guy who plays a dude who came here illegally from Mexico, and he's hilarious. And then you have the younger girl, and then you have the black guy from 40-Year-Old Virgin who sells TVs with them.
Okay.
He plays a conspiracy theorist, and he's freaking hilarious in this too. So, and then obviously you have Tiffany Haddish and oh man, what's his name? He's married to Colby Smulders from How I Met Your Mother. He was on it too. He was on Mad TV, and then he was on Wild and Out for a short period of time. I can't remember his name.
I don't know who you're
But
talking about.
he's also in it too. He plays the principal. He's really, really funny. And then you have Kevin Hart's best friend is I can never remember his real name. John Ralphio Saperstein.
Oh, I don't know his real name either. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, he's in it too. He's really good. He's pretty amazing in this. So, all great movies. You need to watch them all. But here, this is the main reason why we're here today. This little
the boys
portion.
real quick.
Oh yes. Before we do that,
Yeah.
talk about the boys. Don't spoil nothing.
Okay, you haven't started it.
I haven't started yet, but I have already heard season 2 is already filming right now.
Yeah.
They've already put out
It's supposed to come out sometime next year.
sometime next year, and I'm assuming it's going to be early because I have a feeling they're going to split off different characters possibly.
Yeah.
So everyone's loved it.
Yeah.
All my friends, all the guys I made friends with on my training trip, they were like, "Oh my gosh, it's the best. It's so awesome. It's a great show."
I haven't heard anyone talk bad about it yet.
No. So
Amazon Prime
right,
Video
has the boys.
Yeah. Without giving anything away, it's that fear that you hear about in all the other superhero movies, like mainly about Superman. What if he wanted to turn on humans and be, not perfectly moral and ethic?
Well, I heard it's also about
happen?
he smacks that enemy into a building. Well, how many people did he kill in the building?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
It's a more realistic, darker side to superheroes
Yeah.
that are more more controlled by a corporation.
Right.
Because they're not perfect.
The
They're
preview
not.
shows, I think, because in the preview it actually shows the origin of the people that are going after, like a couple of them, about how one of them was kissing goodbye to his fiance, and the fast guy ran by and completely took her out, and all he was left holding was her arms, I think. And then another one, I can't remember what it was, but basically the guy's like, "Oops, sorry," and then takes off running away, and they're like, "Oh well, apparently the superheroes can do no wrong because they're superheroes."
In the public eye, they're very good. They're heroes. Everyone loves them.
But they have certain
behind
people,
the scenes, they're very questionable.
Right.
And then so the show is about the boys who are normal humans who have been wronged by them, and they're out for revenge. But it's extremely original. I've never seen anything like it. It's a totally different look at superheroes after all the other superhero movies and universes that we've had.
Which is why I want to watch it. That and Brightburn. Brightburn looked...
That was terrible.
It was?
Oh, I'm glad you brought that up. What a horrible movie.
It was that bad.
And I don't think I have high standards for movies. But even I was picking out just every terrible moment in it. It's a horrible movie.
You'll have to tell me afterwards about that one.
Yeah.
But The Boys, I'm going to start watching it hopefully this week before I go on my trip. I'm taking my Amazon stick with me to...
There's a lot of moments in it that they blow you away.
And I heard
it's a great show.
the people in it are phenomenal actors as well, which is why I like it too.
And it's got funny moments too.
So that's good.
Yeah.
So then now let's go to your Guy Fieri moment. So this might be a little bit of spoilers, not too hard, but tell us no lie. As you know, Andrew does not like Guy Fieri. But so if he's giving something a rating of Guy Fieri's, he's not going to enjoy it. So he did not enjoy John Wick 3. So why?
And so I figured, man, I got the first two. Second one wasn't as good as the first.
Right.
But I figured, whatever. The first two were good. I'll just buy the third one. I don't care about renting or whatever. Let me just get it. And I watched it. I think it was last night I watched it. And man, it is just... Now I'm the first person to tell you, oh, nonstop action, sign me up. I'm there. But this movie is almost literally just 2 hours of headshots and the same kind of fighting that you've seen. Yeah, there's some wild stuff on horses and motorcycles, but it drags on. And I don't know if this is something about getting older, but maybe as a kid I would have said, oh yeah, I'll watch this all day. But man, there's nothing happening. Nothing happens in this movie. He's just killing people for 2 hours, and it's boring.
Does Ruby Rose make a return appearance in this one?
I hate her. The short-haired.
Yes.
She shows up
She's
every
deaf.
now and then, and she's what?
She's deaf in the movie.
Like in real life?
No, in the movie.
In the movie?
Yeah.
I didn't get that
In
sense.
the very first one, he signs to her, "I'll see you later." When he leaves her, he doesn't kill her. He says, "I'll see you later."
Oh, I didn't even realize.
When they're going through the mirrors and he's fighting with them in the mirrors.
I haven't seen the second one in a while.
Wait, that's the second one. Yeah, that's the second one. Yeah, the second one. That's when he goes after her in the mirrors, and they're running through like a fun house type situation.
Yeah.
And he ends up knocking her down, and he gets her gun out of her. He doesn't kill her. He signs to her, "See you later."
Every line she has is super. You can tell it's made for a trailer, kind of. She has that kind of moment where she says it. It's so overdone in the acting.
A lot of it has to do with the fact that she's Batwoman or Batgirl. She's going to be that in CW. So it may have been just a way to get her out of it, and because she might have been contractually obligated to come back for the third one. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people don't realize. A lot of times you see people in a movie, you're like, how do they get them? Well, they owed someone a couple movies, and they're like, you know what? Just throw me in this movie, and I'll get it over with, kind of thing. So
every line she has, which isn't many, she delivers it in that way that's supposed to be, you've been excommunicated, and that's how she delivers it. And it's extremely cheesy. It sounds terrible.
A lot of people don't like her as an
dramatic.
actress. A lot of people don't like her as an actress. Because, I mean, she was in something else where she was an explosive expert. I can't remember what that was. But she was in something else where she's that or a hacker. I can't remember which one.
I'd give her 10 out of 10 Guy Fieri's.
So
the more Guy Fieri's you have, the worse the rating.
Okay.
So a 10 out of 10
So for
is
our
terrible.
movie reviews, we do 1 or 2 hella thumbs up or hella thumbs down. But for Andrew's, it's on the basis of Guy Fieri's. And I think that's amazing because there's no one doing that. So literally, we can have a rating system that no one has. So we're gonna go to the Guy Fieri's. I'm gonna say Fieri. He's gonna say Fieri. So one
You
guy.
can't just change your name because you want to sound more Italian. We've covered this before, but for the new people, his real name is Guy Fieri, and he changed it to Fieri because he wanted to sound more Italian. I think we have some Scottish in our blood, but I don't go around telling people, hey, don't call me Andrew, call me Andrew, because I want to sound more Scottish. You can't just change your name.
I'm gonna start calling you Andrew now.
It's
Andrew.
douchey.
People do all the time change their name. I mean, it is. But from now on, our movies are gonna be on the scale of, if it's one Guy Fieri, it means it's an amazing movie. If it's 10, it's horrible.
I mean, 0 Guy Fieri's is the best you could do.
0 is the best.
That's a perfect movie.
And you told me you would give this a 6 out of 10 Guy Fieri's.
Yeah, so worse than it is good.
I mean, they're already making a 4. They already got announced before the other movie, The Weekend, was even over.
I love an action movie, and I love action, but man, they got carried away with it, and nothing ever happens in it. They get nowhere in the movie. It's just, it's literally, I mean, it's carried over from the second one, right?
Right.
There's no spoiler. The assassins are trying to kill him.
Right.
And there's hundreds of assassins after him, and he's just putting them down for 2 hours. I mean, that's the whole movie.
The thing is he was the best of the best. I mean, even the guys that used him were afraid of him.
I'm willing to look past that. I understand it's a movie.
Right.
But you have to have more story than that, right? There's no character. Everyone loved the first one because of the character.
Right.
What happened with his dog, his wife, and I mean, now it hasn't gone anywhere. Now it's just him just killing people for 2 hours.
Some people enjoy it, man.
It's a video game, which they are making a video game out of it. I think it's called Hex. Yeah, It was part of the bonus features. They showed some of the making of it.
Okay.
And that's what you do in a video game, is you just kill people for hours. But in a movie, that gets pretty old.
Maybe that was their goal.
Was to get it to a video game?
Yes. You never know. So he gives a 6 out of 10 Guy Fieri's. I would give Shazam, I'd give it 4 out of 10 Guy Fieri's. The ending saved me on it. Detective Pikachu, I'd give 1 out of 10 Guy Fieri's. There was a little bit of stuff that I kind of wish there was more of. I didn't like some of the jumpiness, how it jumped kind of fast around. And there wasn't any very much catching up Pokemon. And then I would give Night School 2 out of 10 Guy Fieri's. I really enjoyed it because it wasn't very Kevin Hardy. It wasn't super boisterous, screaming, yelling. So, I really liked that. And I actually started watching Central Intelligence. And I think that's where he started realizing he can't be super loud and obnoxious Kevin Hart. Because he was very just kind of like quiet, normal Kevin Hart. So I really enjoyed that. But
I just found out there's a restaurant in the area. I probably shouldn't name it. Maybe I can. You let me know. That everyone told me, best burgers around. You gotta try it. It's amazing. Everyone told me. And
was it the gas station right here?
No.
No, the 100%. I've been told that's the best burgers.
Those are pretty good.
Okay.
And then so I know this is like a sit-down restaurant, and so I looked it up. It turns out Guy Fieri has been there. This is
in Turlock,
Modesto.
Oh, he did a bunch of diners, dives, and diners, drive-ins, and
Yeah,
dives
so
there.
he was at this place.
Which one? Was it Commonwealth?
Bowers, I think it's about 66 and a half.
Yeah, they have the Portuguese sandwich there. That's what everyone wants to go try.
Okay, so everyone tells me it's got the most amazing burgers, and you gotta go try it. And so I was like, oh, cool, I'll go check it out. I'm looking it up online, and apparently Guy Fieri went there and endorsed it and did the whole diners, drive-ins, and dives.
So I will.
So I can't go now.
No, I will tell you, my father-in-law had been there before he went there, and it was always packed. It didn't matter whether he went on the show or not. Like, apparently, from what I've heard, like, they'll usually, like, the Commonwealth, the one that I think it's downtown.
Downtown, yeah.
They may have written to him to be on it, but somebody recommended them that place. They did not ask to be on the show. They came and asked.
But it's been on the show.
It has.
So I can't go there now.
You have to try one.
I can't.
Yes, you can.
No.
So what if I went
He's
there?
been there.
Okay, what if I went there and got food and brought it here and you ate it?
I'd have to throw up if you told me that. I'd stick my finger down my throat.
So what?
If you told me that Guy Fieri.
So what I would have to do is I have to bring you food, let you eat it, digest it, call you in a couple of days and tell you, hey, that was from that restaurant. Yeah.
I mean, I'm just not going to eat any food that you bring me. I'd probably be pretty suspect now.
So I've eaten at the Commonwealth. I think it is the Commonwealth one that has tacos. Very, very, very good food. It was phenomenal. But what I have noticed, I don't know if it's a Guy Fieri curse, but I've heard a lot of places change their menu after he's been there. Because I think what happens is people start ordering the one meal so much, you're going to get people that don't like it. It's the same thing as like you don't like Guy Fieri for no reason other than he's Guy Fieri.
Now, other than he's a douche.
Well, see, but that's an opinion, right? That's an opinion.
Well,
just with all the people.
I wouldn't say that.
Well, it is though in reality. But it's not like.
A fact.
But if you were to go to a restaurant and everyone, all the reviews say, "Don't get the cheeseburger's horrible," and you get it and it's horrible, who do you blame? Yourself, right? Right?
I blame the reviews.
Well, no, but you got it when they told you not to. That's what I meant. If they said don't get the cheeseburger
and I
you
still
did,
got it,
and it was bad, it's your fault, right? But if you go and someone said, "Oh, you know what? Guy Fieri refused this place," you're like, "You know what? I'm gonna try it." And you go there and you like something, and then someone else says, "Well, that's the worst item." That's your opinion. So I think the big thing is you're gonna find someone that doesn't like something that Guy Fieri liked. Even if you didn't know Guy Fieri went there and it was his number one picked item, and you don't like it. I think the problem is you start ordering. The consistency is not going to be the same. There's no way possible someone can cook a steak the exact same way in a restaurant, like a fast-paced restaurant environment. You get to these fancy restaurants where they have a procedure. You're not worried about time and getting your food. It's not Texas Roadhouse. Texas Roadhouse is like, hey, get those steaks out of here. You know what I mean?
No.
So, if I went to a Guy Fieri backed restaurant,
okay,
95% of them are not fine dining.
Yeah.
They're like, orders up, get out. So the food's not going to be consistent.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So if you have a signature dish, like they have this one, it's linguiça and it's got some other stuff in it, I guess, that's not Bauer's place.
Yeah.
And you order it, and it's not great, and you're like, that Guy Fieri lied to me. Well, that's not his. It's not Guy Fieri's fault that they're not making consistently, because they're not going to. And I think that's the big problem is a lot of places, unless it's a food truck. Because I've watched some of the food truck ones. Food truck ones he does like in Hawaii, they're not changing the process.
He's lying anyway.
You think so?
You can't love every place you go to. How does he love every place he's been to?
Because he loves food.
He is pretty fat.
I think I honestly think that he has people go in there beforehand and eat. I think I guarantee.
Did you guys ever bring up that his brother is part of the lead singer from Smash Mouth?
No, we didn't talk about that.
Someone look up the side by side. I don't know his name because no one cares about Smash Mouth. Do I have that right? Smash Mouth, right?
Smash Mouth.
So Smash Mouth, which is also a good name for Guy Fieri. His brother, Guy Fieri, and the lead singer of Smash Mouth are brothers.
For legal reasons, this is not real. It's true.
I guess he's really sensitive too about what happened. They like re-released the soundtrack to Shrek, and someone made a comment to Smash Mouth about it, and I guess he got really sensitive, yeah. And he retaliated.
They called him a sellout or something because well, I mean, the only reason why I found out about Smash Mouth was obviously Walking on the Sun was big on MTV when I was younger, but also they sang "Why Can't We Be Friends" on Basketball.
Oh.
And that was my favorite movie of all time, and it was like they sang that one good because that's what they need to sing is that kind of music, you know. But no, they're not brothers. It's a conspiracy that Andrew has. It's not true. It's to get a suit.
I mean, they're twins, right? They look exactly the same.
I mean, it's pretty close. I heard the lead singer lost some weight though. He actually lost some weight, you know. But I will say, even though Andrew hates him, Guy Fieri does usually show up to most national disasters in California incognito, like he doesn't put it out there. People sneak pictures of him.
When you're wearing a flame bowling shirt, you're not incognito.
No, he comes in all black. I've seen him before. He comes in all black. He has a whole crew that, he has on call. Like he knows who to call. And he comes in and he has all the first responders get fed. You know, he does a lot of good things. And I do like the fact that, unlike Smash Mouth, he's embraced the way people make fun of him. You know what I mean? Like, he knows he gets made fun of. He's my favorite person to listen to the haters because he goes on he has that Guy's Grocery Games, which all it is a glorified version of Supermarket Sweep. So for supermarkets, we went and found stuff. That's when he cooked stuff. It's kind of the same thing.
I didn't know you loved him so much.
I like the fact that he has the I don't care attitude. You know what I mean?
I mean, if you got the sunglasses on the back of your neck,
You don't care. You don't care. If you keep bleaching your hair like that instead of embracing it, he could just go the Mario Batali way, who everyone hates right now, by the way, and keeping that gross ponytail with balding, and it looks just disgusting. It looks like was it Biff when he's super old in the Back to the Future movies, and he has that comb over. That's what it's like with Mario Batali, which thankfully he does no longer own any part of Italy in LA because he keeps sexually harassing people left and right. But I just, I don't like being negative towards people who aren't negative. Like, in reality, I understand what you're coming from. Like, 100%. Like, I'm not going to fight you on that.
And you realize he's a douche, right?
100%. But you can't. But
that's all I wanted.
But the problem is, though, is that, like, I like everything he does. I watch all the shows because they're funny and they're fun. But the thing about him is, you could call him that to his face, and he's just going to laugh because he doesn't care. He's just like Chad Ochocinco, Chad Johnson, for those that know about football, who, if you talk trash to him on Twitter, and like, oh, I could beat Ochocinco any day of the week on FIFA, and they're doing it because they know he plays on Xbox, and like, well, I only have PlayStation. Chad Ochocinco, Chad Johnson, will send that person an Xbox and say, here's the game, here's everything, log on, beat me. He legit does that because
that's a little over the top.
But he knows he's that good. That's the same thing with Guy Fieri. I've heard.
Except Guy Fieri's not good at anything.
I heard his food's phenomenal. I heard his food is phenomenal. And what did I send you? What did I send you? I think something else. What is he has to give a show or
another one?
I texted you. What would I text the group?
He got
the chicken restaurants.
I know he got one of the producers fired because he didn't want to come in and do his voiceovers for the Triple D show. By the way, the third D stands for douche. You sent me a picture of him being in the Matrix because he wears sunglasses.
But what was that about, though? I can't remember.
There's nothing. It just says Matrix 4 is going to be great. It's
a
picture of him.
Yeah, Guy Fieri, Matrix 4. I mean, and I'm pretty sure eventually you're going to see Guy Fieri doing some sort of spoof movie because it's just the level of fame he has right now. But he's kind of like my favorite cooking show is Beat Bobby Flay because it's kind of cool, interesting, different. You get more people on there. But whenever I'm watching it, if anything comes on with Guy Fieri, I watch it. So, Andrew can hate all he wants, but at least he's not telling us to stay off the internet like Titus did last week. I don't know if you knew about that one.
No, I didn't.
At the very
know about
end,
that.
he said the internet is evil, we should stay off of it, even though we're on the internet. We're posting videos on the internet. He said the internet's evil.
That's
so,
my boy.
Now that you know our new rating system with Guy Fieri's, or in Andrew's case, Guy
Fairies.
Let us know about how you felt about this conversation that derailed extremely about Guy Fieri. We're going to have Guy Fieri Hour from now on. Go to Facebook.com/FOMOcast, Twitter FOMO_cast, FOMO Podcast on Instagram, Patreon.com/FOMOcast, and search FOMOcast on YouTube. Thank you to people that are subscribing now. I'm going to try and get it done tonight before my next draft, which is in 3 hours. I have plenty of time to edit that probably, but I got to upload this first. And I have to upload to the Pod Bros Network because I'm doing that too. So I keep making mistakes and upload a bunch of stuff. I'm way behind. That's what happens when you go out of town for training. Talking really fast right now. Don't know how I'm doing it. I'm keeping it on one. That's great. But make sure you go to all those places. Thank you, though, truly to those that have subscribed and who are watching our videos on YouTube. And thank you, everyone, to listen, especially you, Timothy Quintana Mendoza. Text me when you get this because I want to know you're listening all the way through. I want to make sure to give you the shout out on the very end. And make sure to go to the Pod Bros Network, podbros.com. And then also, for those of you for a little bit more of an adult podcast, I do a guest spot sometimes about nerd news on Radio Underland. You can find it anywhere you get podcasts and on YouTube. So for the FOMOcast, I'm Chris.
I'm Andrew.
And we will see you next time.